everyone, welcome back. I'm Katie, and today I'm going to be talking about a new Erin Bartels book. Alright, so this is Erin Bartels' newest book, Everything is Just Beginning, and this one just came out, I would say almost 2 weeks ago, but I'm so happy that I read this. This is completely different from honestly anything that I've ever read in the Christian fiction community. Totally different, fresh, and just a change of pace that I feel like I really needed. I really love this one. So Erin Bartels is new to me. This is my first book by the author, and so I had no idea going into it. This really wasn't on my radar. It wasn't I don't even think it was on my most anticipated releases list. Was it? I don't know. I don't think it was. But thank you to Baker Publishing because I requested this to read and review, and I'm so happy that I did because this one was just a different and unique story. I really loved this one. So this is about Michael, and Michael is kind of I was gonna say has been, but really he was a never was music artist. He kind of had a garage band who they had some music, not necessarily tours, but some gigs that they went to and stuff. Well, he was pretty much kind of like the underdog. He would skip rehearsals. Sometimes he wouldn't even go to the concerts. And so they pretty much tell him to leave, get out of the band, and don't come back until you learn, what you want from the group. So he's kicked out. He's kicked out of his apartment, and the only place that he can think of to go is his uncle's. And his uncle is not the greatest either. His uncle is, I believe, yeah, he does drink, so that is a trigger warning in here. He is an alcoholic, and his uncle, it was also named Mike. He was named after his uncle, and so every time something in Mike's life goes wrong, he blames his nephew Michael for it and believes he's bad luck. So that's such a sad part of the story. It's okay, you are making all these mistakes and you're blaming your nephew. What is going on? So there's that. But there's one night right in the beginning where he gets an invitation to a party, and it's across the street. It's where this big fancy house is where his uncle helped build, and that's how he kind of is staying in a trailer that's across the street. It's kind of their property, and they let him live there. So his uncle isn't going to be there for New Year's. His uncle's going to go to Vegas, and so he's like, why not take advantage of this and go to a party? There's probably tons of people there. No one's going to know that, I don't belong, even though the people across the street have never even met his nephew. So he decides to go. And what follows is a very different story. It follows where he meets this girl named Pinky, and he finds out that she's the daughter of this pretty famous couple. The father is a movie producer, and the wife used to be a very pretty famous singer. And so Pinky and him kind of become friends through music. And of course, it is a little bit of a love story, but it's honestly more than that. It's finding out friendship, finding out that not the whole world has given up on you. That's the way Michael felt in the beginning of the book. He felt like everything and everyone pretty much gave up on him, and he needs to learn that there are people out there who do root for you, and whether it be another person's family because he grows close to this family, or it's Jesus and how Jesus helps us through all these situations, and we're not alone in that. And I loved it. I love the friendships. There is really heartbreaking moments in this. It does talk about a loved one's passing and their illness, so if that triggers you, just know that going in. But I love the story, even though I'm not huge on the rock and roll world, well, except for the 60s. But even if you're not, she mentions other genres of music. She mentions classical and pop and country and jazz. Jazz is one of my favorites. But she just mentions all of these beautiful music themes, and just this book was great. And how going from being nobody to having friends and finding out, that you do have talent to try your best, and it also shows like not to give up. Like he started with nothing. He was rock bottom, but he did meet the right people, but it was at God's timing and the right moment to find his love and his renewed love of music, and to find that friend that he really needed going into this book. And so this girl Pinky and him end up starting a band of their own, and they realize that they need a lot of take and a lot of give. There's also talk about forgiveness, and how like even though it's really hard to forgive or to ask for forgiveness, this talks about both situations, and how even though it's hard, we really do need that forgiveness in our life. Not not necessarily for that other person. That other person, like, yeah, sure, they like hearing that you're sorry, but it's more for yourself, because you tend to have like a heaviness. I know the feeling. I have had heaviness before I've asked for forgiveness. That heavy feeling that's so horrible. And then when you ask for forgiveness, it is just so much weight lifted off your shoulders. You have no idea. And that's another theme within this book. And I just loved it. I just really enjoyed this one. I honestly feel like this is going to be one of my favorites of the year. I have a feeling, just because it was so unique and so different, and just um, the main theme was not focused on romance. It was focused on second chances and friendship, and just, yeah, learning that, like, if this is the path God has for you, then continue to try and work your way toward that goal of where God wants you. So I loved it, and I'm definitely going to pick up more of her books. Yes, because this was really good. So thank you again to Baker Publishing for sending this to me. I absolutely really enjoyed it, and yeah, it was great. All right, so I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.